So I'm in Korea, I'm in my 30s, got myself a studio, got my own house, rented. The only thing I need now is a car. But why don't I have one? Alright, I'll be honest, I really want a car in Korea. And there's only one reason I actually want it. Women. Okay, that sounds super sleazy, but hear me out. I mean, not women, like woman, because one, obviously. And number two, dating. I think that's a huge part of it. So let's talk about it. Do I need a car? Do you need a car when you come to Korea, when you live in Korea? To figure out whether it's important to have one, let's break it down. The pros, the cons, the advantages, the disadvantages, all the pluses and minuses. Here we go. The truth is, if you have a regular job in Korea, or if you're just a student and you don't have to rush from place to place for work, you probably don't need a car in Korea. Public transportation here is amazing. The subway systems help you avoid traffic and get you all around the city. The buses, once you figure them out, take you to all neighborhoods in the city. Inner city buses and the nationwide train system can take you anywhere. And the KTX can get you to any major city faster than taking your car. So, for Alex, the single guy here in Korea, I don't really need a car. I mean, I'm cool with taking the bus to the beach. The subway system helps me avoid traffic. I'm all right with paying for a taxi when I absolutely need it. You can get across the city for, well, less than, $25, like 25,000 won. I would hate trying to find parking downtown, especially in Gangnam. It gets expensive to own a car, especially if you plan on using that car. Parking tickets, repair, upkeep, accidents, gas, all those things that you need, insurance. I guess, I don't know how much it costs here, but it all adds up. When you start thinking about your relationship to other people in Korea, however, it does get a bit more complicated. There's actually a lot of good reasons to own a car. If you're a parent, moving kids around the city, especially when they're young, is probably easier with a car than dragging them through the subway system. Especially, if you're trying to keep them healthy. You don't want them around a bunch of people. Taking vacations, especially with friends and family, is way more convenient when you have a car. Even though the KTX will take you to most big cities like Incheon and Busan, or the Olympic cities of Pyeongchang and Gangneung, once you get there, what are you going to do? Are you going to take a taxi everywhere you go? That costs money. You're going to try your luck with public transportation and waste valuable vacation time? Well, I guess you could. That's what I do. But also, if you're a busy freelancer, someone who works a bit more than I do, maybe, sometimes you need that car to get from one job to the next, from one radio station to the other. Time saved means you can do more jobs. And finally, kind of what the video was all about, what about dating? Do you need a car to date in Korea? Absolutely not. Plenty of people are willing to date you if you don't have a car, if you're a good person. I've had girlfriends and never once had a car in Korea. I guess that's why I use the past tense right there. I had girlfriends. I wonder if there's any connection, any correlation to that at all. But having a car in Seoul, just like any other place in the world, gives you two very important advantages in the dating game. Number one, you get to have more romantic dates. Some places are just easier to access by car, and taxis aren't always romantic. You can go further with a car, like physical distance, of course, 30. Take a day trip out of the city to places that you wouldn't be able to go to in a day without having that car. And plus, you want to control the mood. What do? You control the music. Romantic. But the other reason is just the psychological reason of having a car, having more confidence. While not everyone in Seoul is obsessed with money or status, it does play a role in relationships, at the very least on the subconscious level. On both sides, the person who has the car, or confidence, and the person who is getting taken around in the car. And I guess this is where I get a little more personal. I want to be able to take a girlfriend around the city, around the country in my car. There's a certain pride in that. Maybe it's because I'm an American and in the Midwest. You almost have to have a car to get around. I'm from Ohio. We had a terrible bus system, no trains that were in the city anyway. And besides, your car was your source of pride. It was your car. And I'm also at the age of marriage. Actually, I passed the age of marriage for the average Korean man who is 32 when they get married. There's just something about owning a car that shows you have a level of stability in your life, even though even though that's not necessarily true. And this is where I'm okay not getting a car in Korea. Let me explain. Especially in Korea, a lot of people take out loans beyond their means to get things they can't afford. That's not just a Korea problem, of course, but it does happen a lot here. Just because someone has a car doesn't mean they're actually making it. They might be struggling to make payments on that car or struggling to pay their monthly rent on their house because they decided to get a car. And honestly, that's just not the kind of guy I am. I'm very stingy about spending money I don't have yet. And here I am in a studio, spending way too much money on it. But I do have this studio, and we rent the space, and we own everything inside of it. But it does make me money because I need to do certain projects. I need to do certain projects in a studio setting, and it's a good investment. I get a return on it. A car, at this moment in my life, is not a good investment yet. Once I have more jobs or I gotta race from studio to studio, sure, maybe if I became like a celebrity, what's with my mouth today? If I became a celebrity, I'd probably have someone driving me around actually. But still, having a car would be nice then. Plus, if you're a celebrity, I presume you have tons of money, so it's not like you're worried about buying a car. You just kind of go buy it. But for the moment, it's just going to cost me a couple extra $100 a month that one day I'd like to put toward. I ain't going to stop this English language. It's killing me. I'm going to put towards getting my next place in Korea. And when I need to, I'm willing to pay for the taxi 3 or 4 times a month because I don't have a car and I need to get somewhere fast or to a weird place that's far away. But for dating, I still kind of wish I had a car, I want to be able to pick up a girlfriend, take her out to a really nice raw fish place on the West Coast and have her back to her place by midnight, or maybe even take a vacation together, or maybe just show her parents that I'm not some social media influencer who doesn't have his finances in order or have his future figured out. And that does weigh on me psychologically all the time. That's, I would say, a pretty good reason to get a car if you can afford it. But for now, I guess I'll wait on getting that car. Just kind of deal with the psychological consequences that come with it, of not having a car. So that's my take on it. Do you need a car in Korea? No, probably not. But there's a lot of factors to consider. Do you have kids or not? Where do you live? How much traveling are you doing in a day or over the course of the year? How much money do you have to spend? Disposable income? All these things are necessary to figure out whether or not you need the car in Korea. But don't worry, because I don't think anyone really needs a car in Korea, but it certainly would be nice to have. So what do you think about this? Does anyone out there have experience owning a car in Korea? Do you have both experiences, not having one and then getting one? Do you think it's worth the investment? Do you think it's worth the investment for me? Okay, that literally I'm asking you in the comments to say, Alex, you should or should not get a car based on what you said earlier. So this is you helping me. But you can also leave a comment to help other people who are just stopping by as well. Everyone's different. Let us know down below what you think. And for those who are curious, my first car, I want it to be an electric car. Yeah. Get the little blue license plate that tells everyone that you're a snotty, snooty, earth-loving, tree-hugging hippie. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Haseo. Click the videos. Sounded way cooler in my head. Way cooler in my head. Way cooler.